Alright, time to finish up all this wiring stuff. Alright, so what do I need? What is left here? I guess starting with the obvious, I got a couple of loose wires down here that are for the cop horn and the fan, the radiator fan. I'm planning on using, my memory's good, this little guy, making it a quick disconnect. Not sure if I'll try and hide that under the alternator or not. I'll figure that out in a little bit. After that, cinching up the cop horn wires, just a bunch of loose. I might even cut and re-solder these, even though I just did all that jazz, pun intended. Right here I got the starter and the alternator wire run through here, underneath, coming up here and running along my DeLorean setup here, which is still gonna be redone. I've got a lot of different little things going on, but as it terminates here, it also sticks out there, and I've got to clean all this up. This is just kind of shoved in here. I want to bring all this stuff back out, which means I'll either need to depin it or whatever, but bring it back out and keep it all underneath here, maybe run it up through down here. That being that, I got a flashlight. Flashlight grabbed. Now I need to take this guy, if you can see that without me shining so much light on it. I basically have one right there which runs all my power. I got power coming from the battery, from the battery up into here, and I've got accessories and whatnot running through here, up into here, all kinds of powering stuff going forward and back. I need to figure out where so the starter is going to basically run into one of these, in like this, and then it's going to run out to the battery and then up to the fuse box up here. Just got to remember which one is which. I already shaved down some terminal ends there so that they'll fit. I clipped a little bit of plastic off so they'll fit in there perfectly. Just got to figure out which one is which, and then I got, like I said, I got both the cables in here ready to go for that, and then the other one's going to get run along the back up here into the battery, and then that will be that. After that, I have to depin the O2 sensors and run them through here and get them kind of cinched up, tucked under there, at which point I will probably, I got some heat shield I need to figure out for underneath there. And then I've got a few wires I need to tap into the ECU or the harness with. The 12 volt power, the ELD, the fuel pump. These ones are already done. I need to figure out the what is that? The main relay, and then figure out these pigtails, and then the harness will be done. Basically, that's what these guys. This other end of this is the other shock tower. So that's going to be me figuring out. Shouldn't be too hard. It's just basically tapping into the stuff that's already there. Famous last word, shouldn't be too hard. And some other wiring stuff. So as you can see, not only do I have what's left of that roll, which will probably take me all the way back, but I also have more, which I've been working on the grounding kit for, because I don't feel like paying $100 for one. I've watched a couple of different videos. I think what I'm going to do is one here to right here, which I already have cut. I just needed a bigger post, which I got now. I want to do one from here, somewhere down into the transmission. Try and figure out something there, where the old bracket used to be. And then obviously I got this one from the harness, But then back here, I was trying to figure out a good spot to throw that one on. I was thinking maybe behind the oil catch can, because it's got a little bolt there. I could probably seal that off and sneak that in there. Bing! I don't know, something like that. Get that guy. So that's kind of my idea for electronics. I'm sure I'll come up with a couple other little wiring things along the way. But while I'm down here doing this stuff, I'm going to rethink the piping, my custom pipings here. I'm not going to think about it too hard, but maybe go more underneath in front of the track bar and less up and over. We'll see. Okay, got the coolant temp fan switch thing, relay thing wired up. Tucked away pretty good. Did a bunch of reorganizing and got things threaded through the way I want them. This is reverse light and shit like that. I got a couple more wires to go here, and then should be ready to start doing some main relay stuff. Okay, got a little bit more done here. I got the reverse light cinched up. I got the I already forgot what this one, the fan relay. And then the, I'm not sure I need these, but the corresponding back sides to them have wires that match up to it. As far as like the black and the blue, black and the white, and the black and the yellow, these big thick ones here correspond to these ones here. So I'm just trying to fill out what I can. Getting a little loud and annoying, the music there. So yeah, just slowly trying to figure out what the heck these are. I think I'm gonna stop working on this for a little bit, just because I got the ELD wired here. These three wires are just trying to figure out. The fan relay came off of one of these three, the double yellows. And so and the other one of those, this one says distributor, and the other yellow says brake light, maybe. Whatever. That's where I clipped it, and then so I think that's power brake light and integrated control unit is what that one said. I'll take this one. Yeah, the rest of the yellow doesn't, the other two yellows don't have anything written on them. So I have no idea what this wire is. I think that's power from the main relay, which needs to go to the relay and to this one. That's going to be one of those weird wiring things I need to figure out later on. But like I said, I did get the coolant fan temperature sensor thing ran, and the fan relay, the ELD, these two, and some other shit I gotta figure out. Pretty sure this one blue one goes to this blue one. I was looking through the manuals and they're conflicting things between 88, 90, 94, and 2002. Which is what this guy is. The dredging continues, but I think I'm going to switch to something else just because this is killing me in my back being on the floor here. So I need to get up and move around. I think I'm going to work up here a little bit. Alright, got this guy nice cleaned up in here. You can't see any whirly wires. Everything's going out there. It's either sleeved or whatnot. Everything else I pulled all the way back through. Kind of folded over. Cinched down. Just a second, Tracy. And yeah, so I got my blinkers right here. I got my run back here for the side marker. I cleaned this up a lot more. Took a lot of the zip ties out, so now it's just on these. It's a little looser at this second, but I'm going to tighten it up in a little bit. Making sure I got all my wires around. So my front blinker here. As you can see, I got it pretty good and tight down here. You can really only see just these two starter and alternator wires and a couple 4 wires here that all come out here and wrapped around. One goes to the cop horn, and then you see I got the 2 wires right there. They go down underneath to a clip. God damn it. And then into the fan. There it is. Into the fan. Comes in here. You can't really see, but there it is. Tucking out. So that'll get taped down or zip tied out of the way in front here like that, so that you can't see it at all. Alright, what's next? I wanted to route this up through here, like that, and then up underneath, obviously up and then out over here. I guess I could have kept it out of view a little bit more. Whatever, looks good. Looks good, feels good. Yeah, like I said, I gotta find something next. Oh, of course it stopped. The second I hit stop. Right, I got the first one done here. Going from the radiator mount basically down to the former alternator mount. This wire is almost 16 inches long. I got 14.5 inches of actual wire, and then the couplings on there. One of these I have the smaller one, and the other one I have the larger one for the larger bolt and the smaller bolt. Let's see how this fits, huh? Alright, first one's on there. Looking good. Probably could have gone a little shorter, but I kind of like the curl, so whatever. On the next one, haven't decided what I'm going to do there yet. I'm going to think about that one. I think I'm going to do this guy now. On the transmission case, there's got to be a fucking bolt hole here somewhere, some old bracket. Figure it out. Alright, number 2. Going from the thing down to the transmission case. I'll show you in a second. I got 2 of the smaller ones. It is 16 inches in itself once again. Alright, third one. Final one. I'm going 18 inches on this one. Let me show you where it goes. I got the last ground wire here tucked on. You can see it goes down, tucks underneath, back up from there. Kind of blends in the rest of the motif. Yeah, that's it for the grounds. The only other one is this one right here, which is just floating right here. So all I gotta do is tuck that guy on there. That should be good. I did go ahead and tuck in all of these. I got them kind of weaved in there a little bit, so that when you're looking at it, you don't see them at all. I think that's pretty good. Got that tucked in there. Got the wire harness tucked down into there. That's pretty much gone. This stuff down here is pretty much gone. Can't see any of that really. The only thing you can see really is this. Keeping that old plug for nostalgia reasons. That was off the very first one. The very first LX Civic that I had, there was some butthead hit and ran me. So this is a check valve here. It was living up here. I ordered another one to see what kind of fitment I'd have. I want to try and get it up more. I can't do it while it's sitting like that, but I'm gonna get it up so there's not like a low point there where oil just sits. So anyways, yep, doing kind of putzing around with both of those, but mainly working on the wires. Alright, starter wire goes back there, tucks down behind that guy. Shoots through here, down underneath there, right there. Goes up. Comes threads under here, goes up, goes into that, where that splits off, and goes back out to the, so this comes in right here from the starter. It splits off up here to the alternator slash starter. and then it splits off, comes up, and then comes back down this way. As far as this guy goes, I used the original, I believe it's the harness thing, fit there perfectly, and then I just shoved a 10mm self-tapping bolt in there, and that thing ain't going nowhere. It looks fucking perfect. Tucked way back in there. Nobody's gonna be stepping on it, so I'll be able to put these up here. Literally just down to a couple wires. I can't remember what the fuck that ground is for, or if it's for anything. And the 12 volt. Yeah, I'm basically down to figuring out how to fit this guy in here, this 12 volt in here, and that. And then I got the main relay to deal with, which I have no idea where to start on that. No idea. Oh, I'm getting close here. Close-ish, sorta. I went through and I found the locations, 11, 12, of the 94, the D16, and did those. Got these locations here. Started my little thing there. Got them marked with the green. These are all marked with where they need to go as far as what connects to them. And then I have the EP3 pin out here. I'm trying to figure out what stuff I need where. The fuel pump relay is going to 1, etc. What I'm stuck on here right in a second is the starter signal. Doesn't seem to be one. There's an ignition signal. Nothing with the word starter on it, you know what I mean? So I guess I got to keep going on that, but it gives me hope here. At least I know where this stuff all goes. A lot of it's just grounding out to just grounding out. Managed to get the new e-brakes in. Looks beautiful. Doesn't go to one side or the other. Couldn't ask for better. I actually took my time and re-added the plate to those so that they coming across real nice. Just read in there. I gotta move this little ball up to where it needs to be, but other than that, I got my e-brakes on. Looking nice and fresh and clean. One side is gold and the other side is silver. I don't know why they bothered to do that, but there you go. And then as you can see down here, got myself I put it in there upside down, so I was only able to get 3 bolts in there. I was so careful to get that on there in the right orientation. And then after I bolted everything down, I went to put that on, and of course it's upside down. But other than that, got these e-brakes on nice and good. They're original. It was a pain in the butt to get them up through the strappage, but I managed to squeeze them through, and everything is up there and tightened down and OEM, and boy do I love it. Oh, let me try and stand up. Well, I've finally figured out where to start with the whole main relay problem. It has to do with the fact that I've cut this harness so bad in so many different ways. Not bad, it's perfectly fine. Just I got lost, and I got rid of a bunch of plugs, and I hardwired a bunch of stuff in. So, where do I begin this journey? Right here at this thing. What is this, you might ask? This is me getting a second chance at life. You get to see it with me. It's dirty. It's dirty. But it's mine. You know what that is. You know what that piece of plastic is. You know what all this is. This is a cabin harness. Inside the car. Fortunately, it does have a couple. Oh, that thing is heavy. Fortunately, it does have a couple of plugs that I don't need, and I'm going to be getting rid of. Basically, I'm going to be making a custom wire harness for the inside as well out of this guy. I was a little bummed when I found out that, when I found out that Some of these have been cut. I wasn't too worried about the ones that were cut because they go like headlights and stuff I don't need. Not a big deal, but the one I was kind of hoping for was this guy, which I've made a disaster out of because the plug broke, and so I had to hardwire all of them in. Yeah. So I was kind of hoping to replace this, which is like a $30 harness, and do that, but unfortunately that is cut. But there's some stuff here I'm going to be getting rid of. This SRS module, I think I threw the last one away after trying to sell it. So ECU plugs, gonna need all that stuff. So I guess where am I starting with the main relay? Probably at the main relay. I got pretty much all I'm going to unplug and whatnot on this side, so now I'm going to hop over there. So all of this headlight wiring and stuff, I really do not want to take all this off because it's cut anyways. Come out of the engine here. Shit's all cut anyways. So I think what I'm going to do is cut kind of where this is on the inside. Giving myself a bunch of slack. There's a bunch of wires on there I haven't done. And just, you know, cut it right here. Cut it right to here. Give myself all this slack here to figure out what's going on in there. I think that's probably the easiest and the best way to do it. I think I'll cut it right back up here. Yeah, buddy. Alright, so I got this guy nice and separated out, pulled out of here. Just kind of glancing at a few of the plugs here. Like this guy matches up with that. This guy matches up with that. This guy matches up with that. I don't know where this guy matches up to. And 4 wires and 2 plugs. Nowhere for that to go. Alright, I'm seeing some weird differences here. Like, say, this one. You got all these guys. And then you got up here, there's a lot more wires going on in there. And like this one has 2. This one, I guess it does have 2 on that side. Maybe it has 1 on the other side. I'll have to check. Well, back in the box. The guys at 50 Garage were kind enough, or gal, I don't know, honestly, were kind enough to let me send this back because there was some varying differences in the dual point versus the multi-point. I thought I could get past it, but I cannot get past it. I was gonna use it for doing the door stuff, but yeah, it didn't have any of the door stuff. This is off of DX. There's no power door, so I got the wrong thing in multiples of ways. But like I said, they were kind enough to send it back. My brain is actually like, well, what all do you actually need? You know, C101 plug plus, yeah, like main relay, like the 5 a C101 plug, and then like these 5 wires. But I'm gonna think about it. Alright, bought a brand new one. Took forever, cost a ton of money, but here it is. Brand new, uncut, EX. Oh, looks beautiful. Can't wait to chop it all up. That'll be in the next video. For now, we're just glad to have it. Put a cap on this video, call it part 1. Part 2, we'll start tearing this stuff off of here, figuring out what I want to keep, what I don't want to keep. SRS, cruise control, some other stuff, and yeah, go from there. But sometimes the hardest way is the easiest way.